Good evening, I'm Matt Woodman. This is CTV News at 5. Tonight, acute care alterations, from more beds to additional surgeries, the plans for some Alberta hospitals. AFL apology why a Labour leader regrets not calling a general strike for teachers. And hang on, Edmonton, professional bull riders shoot out of the gates at Rogers Place.
CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Matt Woodman.
The province has a new plan it says will improve the healthcare system. It's promising more beds in hospitals and to increase the number of surgeries performed in Alberta. The opposition, though, is questioning who is going to staff them. CTV's Brendan Purdy joins us in studio now. So, Brendan, what will these changes look like for patients?
Well, Matt, Premier Danielle Smith's new acute care plan aims to add more than 1,000 hospital beds while delivering 50,000 additional surgeries in an attempt to ease the burden on Alberta's healthcare system. Those 50,000 additional surgeries are to be rolled out over the next 3 years. Smith says that will be made possible by expanding hospital operating room capacity and partnering with chartered surgical facilities. The additional beds are planned for the Grey Nuns and Misericordia hospitals here in Edmonton and Calgary's South Health Campus. As for staffing, at a time when many healthcare workers are bargaining and in some cases on the brink of a strike, Hospital and Surgical Health Minister Matt Jones had this to say.
We have successfully recruited or onboarded 1,000 RNs, LPNs, and healthcare aides over the last year. We've successfully recruited over 600 net new physicians over the last year. And Alberta continues to be one of the best places in the world to live, work, and raise a family, and that includes in our world-class institutions like our healthcare system.
The province's hospital and surgical health facilities critic says the plan doesn't include timelines or staffing details. She says it also does little to address burnout among frontline workers.
Many healthcare workers have great ideas on what to do, and it usually starts with hiring more healthcare workers because one of the biggest issues is that there's not enough people to be able to serve those who are in need.
The province says close to 1,300 physicians are registered to practice across our province, 643 more than last year. We've asked how many of those physicians are currently practicing and are waiting for a response. Other areas of the plan include enhancing triage and speeding up patient flow at the Royal Alexandra Hospital and increasing community care spaces, including 12 new psychiatric beds, while shifting 30 temporary beds to become permanent. Matt?
All right, CTV's Brendan Purdy live in studio tonight. Thank you. The Alberta Federation of Labour is apologizing for not calling a general strike after teachers were ordered back to work last month. Now it's focusing efforts on a media campaign and 3 questions it hopes will become referendum questions. As CTV's Connor Hogg reports, the Premier is accusing the Federation of playing politics.
As President of the Federation of Labour, I'll take responsibility. We missed the opportunity.
AFL President Gil McGowan is apologizing for not calling a general strike 3 weeks ago when the province ended the teachers' strike by invoking the notwithstanding clause. Instead of striking, the association is launching a campaign to combat what it deems provincial overreach, called the worker agenda.
We want to contrast our worker agenda to the UCP agenda.
The multi-pronged media campaign will include traveling town halls, a podcast, and volunteers gathering signatures for 3 citizen initiative questions. The questions target the province's use of the notwithstanding clause, the establishment of an Alberta pension plan, and minimum wage in the province.
Premier Smith has made it pretty clear that she intends to put referendum questions on the ballot for some of her MAGA North pet projects. We're going to counter that effort by working to get some referendum questions on of our own on the ballot.
McGowan alleges the UCP government is deliberately underfunding Elections Alberta to interfere with citizen-driven recall petitions that the AFL is not part of, but supports.
If they continue to defund Elections Alberta, you know, the emperor will have no clothes.
Well, I think Gil McGowan's made it clear he's trying to overthrow our government. What we're seeing is that somebody is playing around with, I think, what is a legitimate process and making a mockery of it, quite frankly.
Mount Royal University Associate Professor of Policy Studies Laurie Williams says many Albertans are taking advantage of provincial petition and recall legislation. While she warns there could be a point where citizen initiative fatigue sets in, she says aspects of the worker agenda campaign and corresponding questions could generate more momentum than a general strike.
If properly or effectively organized, that momentum could spell a real challenge to the Alberta government.
McGowan says general strike conversations are ongoing. The first worker agenda town hall will take place in Red Deer on Monday. Connor Hogg, CTV News, Edmonton.
A West End apartment building gutted by fire has been torn down. The building is now rubble and the area is taped off. Flames broke out just after 5 o'clock Wednesday night. No injuries were reported. 22 tenants, though, are displaced along with about a dozen pets. Edmonton Fire Rescue Services is still investigating the cause of the fire. Leuk RCMP investigating child pornography and sexual assault offenses against children have charged 4 people. In August, RCMP arrested Max Valad and charged him with production of child pornography and 7 counts of sexual offenses against children. Investigators searched his home in Leuk and seized several items. They say they found information inside leading them to additional victims and suspects. In October, police arrested 2 women in Edmonton and charged them with child pornography offenses, 34-year-old Sydney Burns and 24-year-old Fannie Mae Salvador. Another woman in Edmonton was arrested last week. 29-year-old Jessica Lee Wood is charged with sexual interference. A portion of Jasper Avenue is reopened to traffic. In the spring, the roadway was reduced to a single lane in each direction from 114th Street to 117th Street so workers could make improvements. The project includes upgraded sidewalks, pedestrian crossings, and transit access points. Relocating a water main along Jasper Avenue is also part of the ongoing work. The city says there will be temporary single-lane closures during off-peak hours as they install street lights. The next phase of this project will focus on Jasper Avenue between 117th and 121st Streets. That work will begin next spring. With the Oilers off on an Eastern Conference road trip, the ice at Rogers Place has been replaced with pens and dirt. This weekend, the top bull riders in the world will battle it out for the PBR Canadian Championship. CTV's Brendan Purdy has more.
I've been in them all in North America. I've seen every venue just about, and this is a world-class stadium.
For more than 20 years, PBR Canada GM Jason Davidson has been getting fans out of their seat on the pro bull riding circuit. From humble beginnings, he's helped the sport grow to the biggest stages like this weekend's national finals at Rogers Place.
From O Canada till we shut the lights down at the end of the performance, you're entertained.
And the numbers speak for themselves. Davidson says the crowds have doubled over the 5-year Canadian finals run in Edmonton. His explanation is simple.
It's hundreds of people that have been here for their first time, and we know they're going to come back.
A partnership made easy between the city and PBR Canada with an expected economic impact north of $6 million over the 2-day event. Even with a record $250,000 purse, this weekend means more than dollars and cents to Alberta bull rider Nick Tetz. He broke his femur back in March, and Saturday will mark his 5th event since recovering.
The mental warfare that you play with yourself on, if you'll return and, be as good as you were, or, everything like that, just knowing that everything that you did paid off.
The Calgary native has enjoyed some memorable rides in Edmonton, claiming the Canadian Championship last year at Rogers Place. The venue is even more special given his lifelong Oilers fandom, one born from being cousins with Oilers legend Ryan Smith.
It's super cool, to get to walk down the same hallway that McDavid walks out to, going out to the ice. Definitely something that I think adds a little bit of a motivating factor.
Although he's out of the running to defend his national championship, he can still claim back-to-back finals event wins, a feat only accomplished once before. Brendan Purdy, CTV News, Edmonton.
Josh, things heating up at Rogers Place with the PBR, cooling off a little bit out there, though, compared to the start of the month.
Yeah, and it looks like that'll be the case for the weekend and through most of next week. Temperatures not quite as warm as what we've had the last week and a half. We're at 0 in Edmonton right now after hitting 2 for a daytime high, 4 south the city, and you get some -1s off to the west and northwest. +1, the average daytime high, so right around average today. -2 is where we started the day. I think we'll be in this -7 range, though, tomorrow morning. So look at all the red on the temperature calendar here. 11 of the first 14 days, warmer than average. But you look at the last 5 years, 4 of the last 5 Novembers have started really warm. This is last November. Somewhere around the middle of the month, all of a sudden things started to turn, and by the 19th of November last year, all of a sudden we had some cold air settling in. we will not see a repeat of that this year. Look at these temperatures for next week. Somewhere in -1 to +3 range for daytime highs. This is the part of the calendar that I would eyeball for some colder air to roll in. November 24th, 25th, somewhere around there, some colder air will likely settle in to close out the month and get into early December. It's a long ways off, but until then, it actually looks like temperatures will still be fairly mild. Not as warm as the start of the month, but still slightly above average. -7 tomorrow morning, so it'll be a cool start to the weekend, but up to about 3 degrees tomorrow afternoon with some clearing in the afternoon and around 4 or 5 for a daytime high on Sunday. Full look at that and when we might next see some flurries in the city in just a few minutes.
All right, Josh, thank you. Coming up next on CTV News, the cost of living, why the Alberta NDP is pushing for higher pay for minimum wage workers.
The Alberta Advantage is eroding, and it's eroding quickly.
Help us build a mountain of toys. Donate today at ctvedmonton.ca. Brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
You're watching CTV News at 5.
The Alberta NDP is pushing to increase minimum wage in the province. As CTV's Amanda Anderson reports, one group estimates it would need to be even higher than that for people to live comfortably in Edmonton.
The Alberta Advantage is eroding, and it's eroding quickly.
That's why the Alberta NDP plans to introduce Bill 201, known as the Protect Workers' Pay Act.
That will increase the minimum wage in a way that is methodical, in a way that will not badly impact business, but will really help people earning minimum wage. In fact, it'll help all wage earners in Alberta.
The bill proposes increasing minimum wage $1 annually over 3 years, reaching $18 an hour by 2027, then having it indexed to inflation.
It's not radical. It's phased in over time to recognize the needs of small business, but we do need to do something.
Alberta's minimum wage was last raised in 2018 and is the lowest in the country. It's also about $5 less than this year's estimated living wage in Edmonton, which sits around $22.30 an hour.
A living wage is the amount needed to make on a per hour basis to afford to meet your basic needs as well as to participate in the community.
Ryan Lacanalao, an economist with the Alberta Living Wage Network, says the living wage has gone up, primarily because of higher insurance costs, rent, and changes to childcare subsidies. A spokesperson for the Jobs, Economy, Trade and Immigration Minister says the Alberta NDP's past wage increase cost thousands of youth jobs. In an already high-pressure entry-level job market stemming from out-of-control immigration and population growth, the last thing we want to do is make that worse by threatening the jobs of our youth through unconsulted increases to minimum wage. As for the gap between minimum and living wage, he says only 5.2% of workers in Alberta are earning the minimum, and the vast majority are young people still living at home.
And the ones making $15 an hour are just a small portion of them. So look at the stats of all of them. When we look at the stats of those making $20 an hour or less, for example.
Bill 201 is expected to be introduced in the legislature on Monday. Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
Population growth in Edmonton and Calgary was one of the hot-button issues at this year's Alberta Municipalities Convention. More than 1,200 local leaders were in Calgary this week discussing the future of the province. The 3-day event gave municipal leaders a chance to meet with provincial officials and debate issues affecting their communities. Edmonton City Councillor Michael Jan says population growth was a major talking point throughout the conference.
We need the provincial government who really has the purse, who really has the ability to provide, to come to the table. You can't launch a campaign like Alberta is calling and bring hundreds of thousands of people to the province without adequate support for them. So that was a common theme I heard.
Jan says the convention was also a great chance for Edmonton's new council to meet Calgary's new council. Former city councillor and mayoral candidate Tim Cartmell is leaving the municipal party he helped create. Cartmell says after weeks of quiet contemplation, he's stepping back from the Better Edmonton Party. He says he's proud of their efforts to build a new political association. He calls the group extremely capable people who are determined to continue the conversation and engage with Edmontonians building towards the next election. He also reflected on his 8 years on council, calling it, quote, the privilege of a lifetime, and said, quote, quote, "On the whole, we did a pretty good job." He did not specify what's next for his career. Still to come tonight on CTV News, Christmas charities, from toys to diapers, how you can help a less fortunate family around the holidays.
You can really help make the holidays happen for our friends and neighbors in need.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Charities are gearing up for what could be one of their busiest seasons yet. The Christmas Bureau and the Bissell Center say people have already been reaching out for help, and they're asking people to give any way they can, and that includes volunteering.
Is welcome. You can collect gifts and bring them, or you can help with wrapping.
If you want to get together with your family, hop in your car, put on your Christmas music, and go and deliver hampers, you can really help make the holidays happen for our friends and neighbors in need.
CTV News is partnering with BGC, Big Brothers Big Sisters, on Toy Mountain. Toys, essential items, and gift cards can be dropped off at any Sentinel Storage or Trail Appliances location. I feel like Mother Nature is already giving us a bit of an early Christmas gift here, Josh. I'm loving the absolutely. I'm loving the above average temperatures around here.
There are a lot of people that would like to see some snow.
I'm sure.
To go along with the mild conditions.
We had a little bit last weekend.
Little dusting last weekend, and again overnight last night. I don't think that snow, what's left of it out there this afternoon, will stick around to the end of the weekend, though. We'll see temperatures around 3 and 5 for daytime highs Saturday, Sunday. Here's the Action Furnace, River Valley Skycam. Action Furnace, fixed right, it's free. We're at 0 right now, and just a little bit of cloud cover out there, but for most of the day today, it's been fairly clear skies. -3 to the south in Red Deer. It's -5 in Fort McMurray and -1 currently in Grand Prairie. It has cooled off in a big way across southern Alberta from where they were last couple of days as well. It was breezy here in Edmonton earlier today. We still have some gusts in Cold Lake and Fort McMurray up around 30 kilometers per hour. You can see the wind has died down in Edmonton. It should stay fairly light for the rest of tonight. It looks like a calm day on the way for tomorrow. Snow still coming down across southern parts of the province, especially in the southeast corner. And for any skiers, I mean, local ski hills didn't get a whole lot of help with the snow, the little skiff that we got overnight last night. But they did get 15 centimeters up Marmot Basin over the past 24 hours. So I would guess by some point next week, we'll probably have an opening announcement after they had to push back what was supposed to be opening day today. Fort McMurray, you'll see skies clearing a little bit early this evening. Here in Edmonton, it looks like skies will cloud over. So after a clear start to the evening, by tomorrow morning, we're under mostly cloudy skies. We'll see some sunshine tomorrow afternoon. Different story off to the northeast. You'll start with some sunny breaks and then get some increasing cloud through the afternoon. This snow stays well north of the Edmonton area, and it doesn't really look like it's going to amount to all that much. And then this snow as well will stay north of Edmonton through Sunday night and into Monday. We'll be under a mix of sun and cloud through the day Sunday, and a little bit warmer Sunday than tomorrow. Should be about 5, maybe 6 degrees for a daytime high Sunday afternoon. -11 in northeastern Alberta, -12 in Grand Prairie tomorrow morning, about -8 for Red Deer. Fort McMurray, handful of degrees below 0. Grand Prairie, 4 or 5 degrees above 0. You'll be right around the freezing mark in Cold Lake. 5 degrees in Red Deer, just slightly below 0 in Lloydminster, and about 4 or 5 for a daytime high in Jasper. Here in Edmonton, we'll drop to the -4, -5 range through this evening. -7 tomorrow morning, so average to start the day tomorrow with mostly cloudy skies, some clearing in the afternoon, and a high of about 3 degrees with some sun breaking through the clouds later in the day. 5 on Sunday, 3 on Monday, so not bad temperatures here Saturday, Sunday, Monday. 0 Tuesday. This would be our next best chance at seeing some snow, either late Monday night or Tuesday. And at this point, it really doesn't look like that's going to amount to all that much, if we get any at all. 2 degrees Wednesday, and take a look at next week. There's really not a great chance of seeing any snow through the middle to the end of next week either. So we'll probably, as we said earlier in the newscast, probably somewhere around the 24th, 25th, see some colder air drop in, but we may not have much snow on the ground at that point.
All right, Josh, thank you. A store inside Southgate Mall is trying to collect 20,000 diapers over the next few months. The Fourth is launching its 3rd annual 20K diaper drive. It will be collecting diapers and money for Edmonton's food bank until January 31st.
So the whole point is really to help families in need. And I know it's really tough for families right now, especially when the cost of raising a child is going up. And so whatever I can do to help our community and give back, that's the reason I'm doing it.
Last year, the drive brought in more than 23,000 diapers. Donations can be made directly at the Fourth or online at Edmonton's Food Bank. When we return, secret for sale, the owners of a longtime restaurant selling their business and their special recipe.
People can get the recipe, get the training from my mom in our kitchen.
CTV News at 5 continues.
Help us build a mountain of toys. Donate today at ctvedmonton.ca.
After 30 years in business, the owners of King Noodle House in Chinatown have put it up for sale. Also for sale, their famous and very secret pho recipe. CTV's Aaron Manisa has more.
Tan Hong has served thousands of bowls of pho over the past 30 years at his King Noodle House restaurant. The secret to his success is a specialty soup.
I dream a plan for open a restaurant, doing for the pho from my recipe from my family, from my grandfather.
A family recipe spanning 3 generations, imported from Vietnam. He says the broth is behind the business's longevity and lots of laughs with customers.
After they empty the bowl of the soup, they leave the bowl, they drink up empty the broth, you know, and they show me 10. Oh, good, 10. Oh, thank you, very good. You smart guy. Yeah.
Now the family is stepping aside for someone else to make new memories.
With multi-generational family businesses, basically, you always have this conversation, are the children going to take over? And for us, the timing's just not right for us, but we also want our parents to rest.
King Noodle House is up for sale, along with the famous pho recipe that no one outside the family knows how to make.
People can get the recipe, get the training from my mom in our kitchen, and then open up their own space somewhere that they would like.
Hong didn't have much besides the recipe when he and his family fled Vietnam in the 80s in a boat he and his brother built, an image immortalized behind the till. Now, as he moves on to the next chapter, he's leaving the recipe behind.
We have to quit because, you know, with the people, when you leave, you get old. After you feel everything, you know, you can't do that anymore.
The Hongs hope this recipe falls into the right hands and can be passed down from one generation to another by a new family. Nair Misa, CTV News, Edmonton.
And that's our show. Thanks for watching. I'm Matt Woodman. CTV News continues right now.